talked about emotional baggage, and we talked about a man by the name of Peter. One of the disciples that we have a lot of knowledge about, I think. And we learned at the root of Peter, what made him tick was that he was discontent. And I don't mean tick in a good way. He obviously had great attributes, but what drove the things that we looked at, underlying in the dirt of his life, God was wanting to dig out discontentment. So today we're looking at another character in the Old Testament. And I don't know what page this is in the Bible. Maybe some of you can yell it out when you get it. But turn to the book of Jonah. And it's really kind of hard to find, so don't worry about it if you can't find it. If your neighbor finds it for you, you just kind of mess them up. Mess it up. And once those of you who have these Bibles get there, could y'all call out the number for me? Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, and Habakkuk. So it's really a small book and kind of hard to find. Anybody got the number of this book? So we're going to look at several passages of Scripture, one primarily at first and the other at the end about Jonah. Now Jonah is considered one of the minor prophets in the Old Testament. By minor, it's not that his prophecy is insignificant or less than the others. It's just simply that his writing, his prophecy, is shorter. Like Isaiah, for example, it's a long written prophecy, so Isaiah is considered a major prophet, and Jonah a minor. And in these 4 chapters of this book, we not only learn what he's doing, we learn what he didn't do, and we're going to find out what his emotional baggage is and what God really was digging. And I'm telling you, but once you take this perspective that Jeff has been putting out these metaphors about water, now this dirt and all these other things, it is just interesting to see, particularly at the end of this book in chapter 4, where God is really messing with Jonah. I mean, he is digging. And so we'll look forward to that. By the way, during this week, did anyone get their dirt dug into this past week since last Sunday? Oh, I did. Only a few things, for being honest. I tell you, come Monday, I mean, it's not fun preaching these messages because sure as the world, I mean, I get nailed. Monday was just horrible. And it was really, it came up as a trust issue. And I thought, man, God's digging in my dirt, my backyard, front yard, and side yard. And so I really struggled with that. And then it just dawned on me, I know what to preach and I better practice it. Because God is God and He will bring us past. I also look in first chapter 1 now. Has anyone found that book number? And a little book. Well, we're not being helpful at all, are we? Okay, for those of you who have those Bibles, kind of look on with your neighbor if you can't find Jonah. And Jonah chapter 1. Does anybody have Jonah? 644? Oh, thank you so very much. 6. Who got that? Yeah, when Jeff gets back, you get a Butterfinger or whatever he's got. Yeah. Okay, Jonah chapter 1. The word of the Lord came to Jonah, the son of Amittai. Go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it, because its wickedness has come up before me. But Jonah ran, and he ran away from the Lord and headed to Tarshish. He went down to Joppa, where he found a ship bound for that port. And after paying the fare, he went aboard and sailed to Tarshish to flee from the Lord. Now, interesting thing about Jonah. I mean, this was an assignment God gave him, but he thought perhaps God would forget or something. So he heads down to Joppa. Now, Joppa is a port city. It is a huge place during that time. All sorts of trade goes on there. It's a melting pot as far as culture and customs and such. So this is a happening city. I mean, they got places to eat. They got goats running around crazy. They got all kind of stuff to sell and buy. And they even have a Walmart in Joppa. Back then, too. Yeah, it's been around for a long time. And so it is a happening city. So Jonah goes there and just, it's kind of a city that you can escape in. You can go and, you can retain your anonymity. No one's really going to know you there. He found the ship headed away from what he thought was the presence of God. And so there he went. So Jonah went down to the body, the belly of this ship. He's decided he would take a snooze. I mean, he's acting as if he's on some sort of a cruise line in the Bahamas or something. Because what he did not know was that he would be startled when they came down to wake him up, telling him about the storm, the tremendous waves as mountains around the ship, and how things were going horrible. So Jonah, came up to the top, and it was a mess. What was a calm, beautiful day, everything had just gone awry, and they were in deep, deep trouble. Well, for some reason or the other, they began to question who this stranger is, Jonah. Like, who are you? Where are you from? What's your social security number? What God do you serve? What's really going on? Because this doesn't normally happen, and we fear that you have caused something for us and to us this day. So, long story short, they inquired, and Jonah said, it's me. I mean, when you're being disobedient to God, it seems to be obvious to everybody but yourself sometimes. He said, God's just throwing me in the sea. Well, they tried to say, no, let's just keep going. Let's keep going. It doesn't work. After a while, it was like, okay, we're going to throw this dude over. And so they did. They threw Jonah over. I can't imagine what Jonah was thinking. It doesn't say in the scriptures. I would be thinking, this is not the way I wanted this day to start or end. I would probably be thinking, boy,